I'm Adriana and this is UseWise channel. UseWise is a platform that we are developing and that we are using this channel to promote. UseWise is being developed by Adriana Group. We have been in cloud consultancy business for over 10 years now. And we have helped many companies move their workloads to the cloud and transform their business. Today I would like to tell you something about the journey to the cloud and give you some pointers on what is important on that journey. I talked about the private cloud and how that is not really a cloud. So when I'm talking about the journey to the cloud, I'm talking about only large public clouds like Google's, Microsoft's, AWS, Alibaba Cloud, and others that will be featured on UseWise. We all know that technology is changing rapidly and that services and infrastructure available from large public cloud vendors are amazing and getting better every day. We are no longer dealing only with early adopters of the cloud as cloud consultants, because this wave has passed even in the most technologically challenged countries. Now the cloud is at least an option even for the most conservative companies and verticals. The subject of this video is journey to the cloud, today or tomorrow. And the reason is because I know that even those companies that are now thinking that cloud will not be relevant to them in the near future, they will be in the cloud sooner than they might realize. So it is not a question of if you will be on your journey to the cloud. It is only the matter of whether your journey to the cloud will begin today or it will begin tomorrow. If you understand that the journey to the cloud needs to start today, then for most companies it will begin with some sort of considerations and internal discussions. If you do not have this sort of problem that needs to be solved immediately, but you have started internal discussions, in most cases there will be IT and finance leading the way, but sometimes there will be some of the business horizontals that will have vested interest in some of the solutions that are specific for them, like CRM for Salesforce, and those business verticals might also push this type of discussions. Companies that think that they have time to spare and want to delay this journey to the cloud for as long as possible will usually find in the harder way that there will always be some problems that will arise. There might be fire in the data center, problems with spam, inability to keep up with hardware requirements that will make it impossible to spend so much money on hardware, and money issues will just force them to make the move. So basically, we have seen many scenarios with companies, and those companies that planned their journey to cloud were able to be more agile and really use the journey to the cloud in a way that was beneficial to them. So it is always better to be well prepared for the journey to the cloud and to really consider your options, make a good choice. This does not mean that some companies that were forced to the cloud by some internal or external forces, but it is always better to be well prepared. Some companies start by firing the data center or angry sales director that pushes for CRM in the cloud, but it will be always much better to be well prepared than to wait for some event of that kind. My most important advice to all companies that want to start their journey to the cloud, that are considering some options, it will be to include vendor agnostic consultants into these discussions about the journey to the cloud as early as possible. And not just because Adria is providing those services, but there are many reasons. I'm not really trying to sell you my services here, because the main issue that we see with companies that are moving to the cloud, one of the biggest traps that you can fall into is getting too dependent on one public cloud and putting yourself in a position where you're not able to seize all the advantages that other services in the public cloud arena can bring to your business. For instance, You might decide to stay a Microsoft shop because you have always been a Microsoft shop, and that's fine. I do not see any derogatory meaning in the term Microsoft shop. It's okay. You have been in your business for a long time. Microsoft has always had the software to help you solve your problems. You will choose Office 365, you will start using Dynamics, you will start with Azure consumption, but later you might find about Salesforce or G Suite or some other services, and then it will be maybe too much of a hassle to migrate or to put in the place some kind of the coexistence, because what we see is, I do not see that, for us as consultants, when I sell Microsoft services, I see it as a win for Google, for AWS, for Alibaba, because the company that has migrated to Microsoft, they will also tomorrow look into other options. And what cloud really gives you are the options. It is not like some sort of cloud cage where you will just come and then you will have, instead of your own data center, you will just have the Microsoft infrastructure. No, the main point is that in the public cloud you have amazing services, and you need to be able to combine those services. You need to be able really to take the best from each of the public cloud vendors and use them in your company in a way that is beneficial to you. And this is why we are building UseWise. We want to give companies the opportunity to have the full coexistence, to really use, I don't know, if you have like office productivity and you have like 10% of people that just need to have the Microsoft Office on premise. They want it on their PCs, and that's fine, and then you have like 50% of people that would be more than happy with G Suite. And then you have like 40% of people that want to use Office 365 but in the cloud. And then you have like those workflows, and you have like planning, and you have so many needs that are currently being utilized by sending Excel files via email, which is like horrible because you never know what is the last version and how to use it at all. So we want to give companies the option, to combine those services, to get to the place where they can just use what they want to use, and not to feel trapped, okay, so now we are on Office 365, we can't migrate to G Suite because there are like 10% of people that still want Office 365, or vice versa. You never know. Companies are different, and companies have different needs, and we want you to have this same ease and flexibility that you have today. Basically, you can put one program on one PC and another program on another PC, and we want you to have this in the cloud with full automation. And we think that this is the reason why vendor agnostic approach is the best way to go, and we will be supporting that with UseWise. UseWise will also enable you to have, for instance, your workloads on AWS, and then to have it backed up on Azure, and your disaster recovery will be on Google Cloud Platform. This is what UseWise will be. This is the journey to the cloud of tomorrow, where you'll be able to just click and get your services from one place with automation. This is what we are building. UseWise will enable companies to access amazing services and choose automatically based on their preferences, and not on what vendors want them to buy. Because in the end, we are not making our money with those services. We are making our money with what we know, and what we are building, what we are developing, what we are giving to companies as an added value. And journey to the cloud is having to start as soon as possible, and in the near future we'll make it much easier and much simpler for you with UseWise at the starting point to start this journey. I'm happy and grateful to you for listening today. If you need some more information, please do not hesitate to contact me. My email is adriana@miadria.com. And hit the like button, subscribe to see more of those updates and more of those little monologues that we have here, me and my colleagues, about some topics that are very important for the journey to the cloud. And I will make sure that you hear very soon from me or my team if you hit subscribe. Have a great day, and I will see you really soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.